I'm Brian with New Car Spin, and with me is Sam, Berkeley, and Emery from the infamous Instagram account In and Out Road Trip. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
So we are in Dallas today, and is this your last stop in Texas?
So, yeah, we're leaving Texas after tonight, and I'm not sure when we'll be back, but we like to take a lot of road trips. So
tell me about your Instagram account. Like, where did it get started?
Well, the trip was started from his idea. I was putting him to bed a little over a year ago, wondering how we were going to salvage our summer plans. I'm a teacher. I take the summer off, and so I usually take my kids and do fun things, let my wife focus on her work and have some peace and quiet. And so everything got canceled last summer. I was putting him to bed. I'm like, what are we going to do? And he said we should go to every In-N-Out. So I was like, it sounds like a great idea.
And here you are. You guys did this massive road trip, huh?
Yeah. And then I wasn't really gonna put it on social media, but I thought my friends might be annoyed by the constant In-N-Out posts. But a friend of mine convinced me that I had to, and we created a separate account for it. And it was born on the first day. We were headed to the first stop that we said, okay, we're gonna set up an account, brainstorm some ideas for the name, and
That's awesome.
and dive deep into the world of social media
And In and Out. So you guys have done all these road trips across basically half the country so far in a Tesla.
Yep.
So
All electric.
what's that like?
Well, I mean, I've always liked driving, and I've liked road trips.
Okay.
It doesn't even have to be like a crazy destination. I kind of like to just get out and go. And this is my fourth electric car, actually. And so once I started playing around with electric cars, it made driving a lot more fun to me. Just the added challenges and cool things about it. And so since I've had this car, I feel like I enjoy road trips even more. I mean,
yeah.
there's added challenges for sure, and you got to stop and charge and all that. But I kind of enjoy that.
That's great.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because I'm originally from California. You're from California, right?
Right.
So in California, a road trip is not complete without a stop to In and Out.
right.
So this makes total sense in my book.
Right.
Yeah. What is your favorite menu item? Is there like a secret menu item, or you guys order like something in between? What do you do?
Growing up with it, my parents grew up in the Inland Empire, where In-N-Out started, and so that's where my love of In-N-Out really is. It's very strong. It's genetic, and I was raised with it. We grew up in the Central Valley of California, and every time we go to LA to visit relatives, we had to get In-N-Out multiple times. My mom would order extra at the last stop to take home to reheat in the microwave, which never really sounded appealing to me, but
Yeah.
that explains the devotion and love of In-N-Out that I was raised with.
Oh yeah.
So I've always loved In-N-Out. I've known there's some secret menu. I don't think I ever really took advantage of them.
If I was at home and going to In-N-Out, I would get a burger and fries or a number 3 with no pickles on the burger.
There you go.
That's his order, yeah. So
it's good.
it's been fun because as part of this trip, because we're going to so many In-N-Outs,
Oh
it's
yeah.
like this. It's this thing where you go to your favorite place, right? And there's this item that you love, but there's this other thing that sounds good and looks like it could be great, but there's this like anxiety that if you go with it and it's disappointing, that you should have just stuck with what you usually go
original,
with, right?
yeah.
And so I'm like that. But when you're going to 20 In-N-Outs in a day, you could make mistakes. There's another one just 10 minutes down the road, so that anxiety is taken away. So we've decided to try like as many of the secret menu item options as we can, and there's so many more out there that we never were aware of. And so we found some really cool new things that we actually like a lot.
All right. So tell me about them. Can you?
Yeah, they make floats, root beer floats, Coke floats, any kind of float, but it's a weird kind of float because it's a shake with a drink instead of ice cream.
Okay.
But it's almost like you get that perfect combination of, like if you do root beer float, it's kind of awkward at first where you're like, I'm getting more root beer,
Yep.
I'm trying to get a little ice cream, but then it starts to melt.
Oh,
And
yeah.
It's like this nice combination. Well, you kind of get to that much quicker when it's a shake.
Mhm.
So I like Coke floats. She did a hot cocoa float, vanilla with hot cocoa this morning. We got music now.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what's going on there for a second. That's probably copyrighted.
You want me to pause it or what?
You can hit pause. Hit pause. Yep. All right. We're back.
Okay. I've sort of tweaked my favorite thing, so now I enjoy double doubles. Before I always thought, oh, I just want 2 separate hamburgers. Why do I want a double? But I like it, and tried animal style for the first time. Not really an onions person, for sure not raw onions,
Oh yeah.
but that grilled chopped onions, it's good.
But
So,
on your account though, I've seen the Flying Dutchman.
oh yeah.
No one here knows what that is.
No one in Texas.
No one.
Okay. Yeah, that's something I had seen when I was diving deep into the world of Instagram and In-N-Out, is that the Flying Dutchman. And it's really just 2 patties and 2
Okay.
slices of cheese and nothing else. You can add some peppers or pickles or spread on top if you want, but it's sort of like the high protein, like you'll see some guy without a shirt on flexing on Instagram with his Flying Dutchman or something like
Okay,
that, which
okay.
I tried to impersonate the first time I ordered it with my shirt still on.
Okay.
But
But they know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, so it's kind of it's actually surprisingly really tasty. I tried it the first time just because I'm like, well, I got to check it off the list.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, this is really good.
So speaking of flying and trying things, tell me about this road trip. Like, what's the best place of the country you've been to so far on your trip to In-N-Out?
So, In-N-Out specific, best In-N-Out
Location?
location, or I mean, I kind of feel like the food is pretty uniform and consistent personally.
Okay.
So, I wouldn't pick it off of, oh, this one makes a burger better than the other one.
Well, how many In-N-Outs have you guys been to?
I think 357 unique In-N-Outs since a year ago.
357?
Yeah, and there's 365, 366 in a week, I think. So we're really close.
Wow. So you guys are almost done.
Yeah.
And then what?
This has almost been like a job, part-time job where I don't get paid. So I think I'm looking forward to a vacation.
Yeah.
From it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love In-N-Out, but I've let myself become consumed with this mission and the scheduling and organizing of it and
I
stuff.
can post stuff.
Yeah, and
There
just
you go.
posting stuff to Instagram and you know, I've always had my own just personal social media accounts, but like going and seeing
Yeah.
what it's like to become a micro influencer or something, I don't know. Like that's what I've heard, you know. If you
Well,
have
I
to
mean, I
validate-
like the hat. I like the shirt. Do you have,
Right.
do you have an In-N-Out belt yet?
I don't.
Oh, see, we're getting close.
Yeah, I got
Yeah, but-
I got shoelaces.
and the socks.
We
And
have
socks.
an In-N-Out toaster now.
We just got a toaster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's-
anything you could think of, In-N-Out probably has put their brand on it and has usually more internal like
Yeah.
gifts and
I
stuff.
saw
but
the ring, the Instagram thing.
We
had the
yeah,
ring.
and we don't have that.
But there is an In-N-Out ring.
yeah,
Yeah.
20 year anniversary, 30-year anniversary, they add stuff to it. And
That's
stuff.
great.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the biggest like little info, behind the scenes info, is the name badge.
Oh yeah.
So
That
it's
was
taken from the Disney name badge.
based off of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Based off the same manufacturer.
same shape.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, they I mean, and they both, you know, kind of from that Southern California, and
Awesome.
and I think there's a lot of shared values about the way they run their companies and the way their employees treat their
Yep.
customers.
Maybe they should collab and make in Disney or
and
something.
they should, yeah. There you go.
I
don't
think
know.
I think they should make it In-N-Out in Disneyland, but have the burger shaped as like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, they can
That
do
would be
that.
fun.
Or churro In-N-Out.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Churro fries. Churro
You
style
just
fries.
you just opened up a
A whole new world.
whole
So-
new world.
Yeah, oh man.
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
Okay.
So then the Tesla, how many miles have you put on it for this whole trip?
This just for In-N-Outs, I think we're probably close to 20,000 miles
Wow.
in a year, a calendar year. I've personally put almost 60 on it in less than 2 years. So I just drive a lot anyways. I mean, I'll put 25, 30,000 miles on whatever car I have any year.
Okay.
So yeah.
And the furthest stretch was probably from New Mexico to Texas. Did you stop anywhere in the way? Like, how did you get here from when you started in Houston, right? Yesterday?
Yeah, we got to Houston yesterday afternoon. The night before, probably around midnight, I was probably going through like El Paso.
Wow.
And I just kept. I tried something new when I was a kid. Every few summers we would drive to Alabama because that's where my mom's
From California.
from California.
Okay.
We'd get in a van or whatever car we had, and my dad would just drive. And we were poor, so we didn't stay at hotels.
Okay.
And I think we just wanted to get there, and so the rest of us would sleep, and and he would just drive. You just wake up every once in a while, and you'd still be driving, and every once in a
Still
while he'd
desert.
stop at like maybe a rest stop and sleep for half an hour or so. That was always sort of like an impressive thing in my mind about my dad, that he could just drive. And so I think I enjoy that driving a lot,
Yeah.
but I think I finally cracked into that aspect of him on this trip, because I drove from Minneapolis to San Francisco in 48 hours with this guy, 2,100 miles. Then from San Francisco, I drove home 200 miles, got home at 7 p.m., packed, left my house at 9:30 p.m., 2.5 hours later, to come here.
Wow.
And I just drove. I drove through the night. I drove through the next day through Arizona. I drove through the next night through from El Paso, just trying to get to San Antonio, and kept going. And
In a Tesla.
in the Tesla, so I had to stop, charge every a couple hours or whatever. But that was
Okay.
like when I try and take a little nap.
Yeah. So those micro naps, you were getting some micro naps.
A
in during
little
the
bit. I
charge?
was trying,
Okay.
but it's kind of hard to force yourself to be like, all right, go to sleep for 30 minutes and then
Wake up.
But the key is, and my dad gave me this tip, so he finally he
Well, let's
let
share
me
it
in.
with the world. Let's share it with the
The
world.
key is, because when you're driving and you're tired and it's dark and you're getting, usually I'd stop and get a soda or some chips, but then you just fill up on soda and chips, and it kind of works for a little bit. My dad, just like a week ago, I told him I was going to do this. He's like, the key is sunflower seeds.
Uh-huh.
So I bought a bag of sunflower seeds. I'm not usually a sunflower seed kind of guy, but you just like whittle on those in your mouth, and for some reason it focuses your brain to where you just feel like you're wide awake the whole time. No problem.
Probably
Until
why
the third night. Last night it started to catch up to me. The third night I was like struggling to get to Waco last night.
Well, you were in Waco, so
Right.
No.
So
no
we
problem
slept
with
in
that.
bed for the first time last night in 3 nights, and so I've cracked. I felt like I achieved a new level of trying to
Totally.
reach my dad's level of those things when you're a kid and you're like, oh, my dad is so
Non-stop.
cool because he can just drive forever,
Yep. So you guys listen to cool tunes in the car, and you get to see the scenery and stuff. Any favorite part? Like, did you like the desert more than being near the beach, or what?
I like the mountains.
Yeah.
The mountains? Yeah, makes sense.
Well, my dad is a mountain guy.
I'm a mountain guy.
Well, you
Did you
think
know that?
that's-
By the
Obviously.
way, I'm a mountain guy.
That's cool.
Well, we do.
We like
yeah.
to backpack and I like the high Sierra, the
Oh, yeah.
Alpine and all that stuff.
Yosemite is my favorite. That's
Yeah.
what I miss from Texas is Yosemite.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yosemite is so cool.
So,
Cool.
yeah, so we it's just been a fun thing, and
And it's nonstop. You're still going, right? So you
Still
guys from
going.
here, you're going on to the next one, and then eventually, when do you guys plan on
Oh,
ending?
well, hopefully hopefully this summer we'll have visited every In-N-Out that is currently open. They're opening them like every few weeks now.
Wow.
Luckily, I think the ones that are coming up are all in California, so we'll be able to kind of.
Stay local.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, well, once we've done once we've done them all, we can still visit the new ones as they open up, and we are in the vicinity. I'm not gonna, if they open a new one up in Texas, I'm not gonna be like, all right, kids, let's blow a week of just constant driving for one new In-N-Out. But if we're like on a trip, which we probably will next summer, and we're going to Texas, and we're within striking distance, we'll probably, you know, pick up that new In-N-Out and check it off the list or something. You know?
So you went to the furthest one away from California today, right?
Yesterday. That's Willowbrook in Houston.
Houston. Houston is actually further away than Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's further
well,
than San Diego.
It's further east.
Wow.
Furthest north is almost near Portland, in Oregon.
Okay.
They have one in.
And you guys were there, right? I think I saw something on that one.
We went to that one in an ice storm, which was extra fun.
Oh yeah.
With an electric car, and the power went out in Salem for a whole week. And luckily, I charged the night before. I decided to go with the cautious approach and be like, I'm gonna charge tonight instead of in the morning. And right when I was about done charging, I mean, the whole time it was crazy. First of all, just going into an ice storm area, everything. I mean, I think you guys had a pretty bad storm this winter, but everything was covered in ice. It looks really beautiful, but also very scary at the same time. And as things are covered with ice, more ice wants to grab onto them, and every blade of grass is a popsicle. So we drove into Salem that night, got to the In-N-Out like 1 a.m. in the middle of this ice storm, and I decided to charge, and I went to the closest supercharger. There's not a lot of superchargers in Oregon, actually, which is kind of surprising. They seem...
That does sound surprising, yeah.
I don't know. They seem to be a state that would embrace that more, or vice versa, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and plugged in. I was going to plug in at the hotel. They have the slower chargers, and you could just sleep, and it's really convenient, except that there's these huge trees that were like about to fall.
Oh, yeah.
With ice. Yeah. So I go and I charge, and as I'm charging in the parking lot, every minute or so, boom, flash, boom, flash. Trees are falling.
Yeah, hitting the
taking
lines.
out power lines, which was kind of an interesting show. And then finally, right when it was about done, there was some that were close by, and finally the power of the whole shopping center went out. And I think it was out for a whole week.
Oh wow!
And
If I hadn't charged that night, we would have been stuck.
And I think it's the best idea under a tree during a storm.
Well, that's why I didn't do it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I went.
Stay out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's been an adventure. And
Last question. Well, two more questions. So you've done a lot of miles in an EV. What's your tip for people who are thinking about an EV or want to drive an EV for road trips? Top tip.
Well, I mean, first of all, when I bought a long-range pure EV, I had to get Tesla because they have the charging network.
Yep.
Everyone else is trying to catch up. I mean, not really. Third-party companies are trying to fill in the holes that all these other companies have, Tesla built their own charging network.
They have the infrastructure.
And yeah, I mean, so to have the confidence to go on long trips and know that I'll be able to charge whenever I need to, that's what made me go with Tesla. And the other thing is, when I drove from Minneapolis to San Francisco, we rented a car. So I'm in this gas crossover, and I'm just annoyed that it rumbles more than an electric car because we're blowing stuff up and it's noisier. And
Crosswinds are blowing you around.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was convenient that I never had to fill up with gas very often. But, I don't know. There's something about not wanting to just drive for 3 hours straight.
I can't explain.
So I kind of enjoy that this forces me to take periodic breaks.
Yeah.
And maybe even walk around, and maybe
Stretch your legs.
Maybe the restaurant I want to eat's a block away from the charger. Well, now I'm getting out and walking around. I feel like it's improved the experience for me, and I think that's something a lot of people are sort of hesitant about. It's like, oh, I gotta stop and charge. I can't just fill up with gas. And daily driving, I just charge in my garage, so I never go to gas stations.
Yeah.
And on long trips, I just reminded myself, after I took a 2,000-mile trip in a gas car in 48 hours, that you can get somewhere a little faster if all you're gonna do is drive.
Yep.
But most of the time, it's nice to stop and get out of your car and
Exactly. And speeding doesn't make a difference because that's only like 5 minutes of savings, and then
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you just do the math. I'm a math teacher. I do that all the time. Like, okay, well, if I speed to work, I go 10 miles an hour faster. I'm gonna save myself what, like 2 minutes or something, or or whatever. It's
which
negligible.
you waste in a line at Starbucks. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's So I think the other thing is it makes me plan my trips a little better. I mean, there's a lot of built-in stuff that make it. You just put in the navigation where you want to go, and it'll tell you where you should stop and charge and how long you should. So I mean, it can take the thinking out of it for you. If you
Oh
want,
yeah, it
you know.
already plans your
Yeah.
route and everything. Yeah, that's perfect.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck in getting to all of them. I mean,
thank you.
They're still making them, but you guys will get to them. Yeah,
Thank you.
that'd be great. And it was great to meet up with you, Sam.
Yeah. Thank you.
Definitely. And Berkeley and Emery, thank you very much. I'm
They're
sure you're
all
all
about to
tired.
fall asleep right
yeah,
now.
yeah, that's okay. And like, subscribe, comment. In and Out Road Trip on Instagram, New Car Spin on Instagram, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was awesome. See ya. Yeah.
You can't buy these. So some of the things I have you can't buy.
Wow.
But
Road Warrior.
We love In-N-Out
and
road trips.
I like the
I'm
sporty
so
Lexus
jealous right
scoops.
now. Have you drove the Audi R8?
Yes. R8, the V10 Plus.
What's the fastest you've gone on the Bugatti?
We don't talk about that.
Do you take them? Do you take them to raceways where you can?
Not on that. Not on that. So I have 2 videos of the Bugatti. They're like an hour and a half long each.
You just tell me. Just tell me. I
No.
won't tattle.
I don't know. I don't know.
You do know.
I don't know. You start accelerating and everything. It looks like everyone starts braking. So you're not looking at a speedometer. You don't have time because you're the math guy, right?
Right.
So if I'm looking down at the speedometer for 1 or a half
Yeah,
second
you
at
go
200
so
miles an
far,
hour,
yeah.
I've gone 3, 4, 5 football
Right.
fields. So you don't. You just have to look up and
Well,
Right.
you could
Attention.
get a police and
But
just,
you were
or get
doing
a
that
radar
with
gun.
other traffic.
Get a
right?
no, we
buy
had to
a
wait for
radar
an
gun.
opening.
Oh, okay.
Buy
It
a
didn't take long.
Buy a radar gun.
No.
Doesn't he
You,
have time to look at that?
you don't have time. Yeah.
No, someone else. Just,
You have to keep your eyes up all the time. Eyes up when you're traveling
Yeah, but
fast.
like someone just on the
that's why
side
you're
of
saying
the
you don't
road.
know how fast you're going because you didn't have time to look at the speedometer.
Yes. And the Bugatti driver from Top Gear was in the passenger seat holding the camera, and so he wasn't allowed to get the gauges either. So we
Why
didn't get
wasn't he allowed to get the gauge?
because he's there for insurance purposes.
Okay.
So he's not. They're not really there to promote the speed of the car. It's to
Okay.
promote the essence of the car.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you just you enjoy it for what it is, which is a piece of
Right.
it's an artwork.
Yeah.
It's really what it is. It's a very expensive car
Right.
that does
But
a lot
goes
of
very
things.
fast.
And it does, yeah.
And
it goes
then
very
you
fast.
drift, and then you crash it into a building, it explodes, and it crashes a plane, and then
Well,
the
here's-
world ends.